Hello guys, it's Nerd here doing Bakugan BakuTech Retrospect Episode 2, this time with Destroy Munikis. It was originally released as BTC-02, but was later re-released in a box with updated cross-part connection points as BTC-16, and was later re-released yet again in BTD-01, Fusion Deck Team Dragon. This version had plastic soul pieces rather than metal though. This is a Darkest Bakugan, and its G-Power ranges between 500, 520, or 540 Gs, but the deck version is 590 Gs. Like Flare Dragon, it was also released in August of 2010. It has a fairly nice looking ball form, you can see here. It is black with red paint. Also some yellow markings here, you can see the MG, got the metal soul pieces as well. Really nice ball form. Opening it up, opens up fairly simply. Also does have a couple manual parts. You do have these soul pieces, of course, and also the horns that pop up here, like that. Here is the physical design. Does look really interesting. I always like these kind of feet slash claws up here on the top. Very unusual design choice, but it does make this thing stand out quite a lot, which is really cool. These right here are both cross pieces and are typically plastic, while the soul pieces are typically metal. But you can swap these out for metal and have 4 metal pieces if you choose to. However, these metal soul pieces are designed to allow this thing to be a very strong curve shot attacker, which it does pretty well. It was the original curve shot attacker for BakuTech, and while it is one-upped eventually, it did give a solid foundation for the archetype. In order to close this thing, you first close the manual parts, and then the easiest way I find to close it is to start with these wings here with the cross parts, put those in, bring down this part. These claws can be a little bit awkward, so kind of try and keep them upwards a little bit. And then once it's partially closed, they kind of are sort of level here. Then you close the tail, then the head, and after this, the wings just kind of fold in. Sometimes they get stuck if the horns aren't all the way closed, but there you go. Taking a look at the anime and manga, this was owned by Raichi, effectively the main rival or deuteragonist of the series. While it was his first Bakugan in the series, it was far more common in the manga, as by the time the anime came out, we were only a few months off of Hollow Munikis, so Destroy Munikis as well as Zero Munikis were effectively kind of just sped run in the anime, but it was still Raichi's first Bakugan nonetheless. And now we move on to all of the variants of Destroy Munikis, as this thing does have a few different ones. First is the silver version from BTC-19, the Battle Master set, with 540 Gs. It was also re-released in BCV-20 Blue Blaze and BCV-22 Grey Dragon, the former having 560 Gs and the latter having 200 Gs. The white armor version from BCV-26 Best Selection with 700 Gs. The red version, a BakuShop point card lottery exclusive with 600 Gs. The clear black version, another BakuShop point lottery card exclusive with 680 Gs. A BakuMetallic Black version from the Koro lottery with 540 Gs. And finally, there were special plastic soul parts that were released, typically alongside the plastic Flare Dragon cross pieces. These were released through various events, although they're not as important as Flare Dragon's cross pieces, as the plastic soul pieces were also available in the deck set, as I mentioned towards the beginning of this video. Competitively, Destroy Munikis is pretty decent, ranking around mid-B tier of my tier list. It is a solid curve shot attacker, but there are better Bakugan in the niche, like its successor, Zero Munikis, and then further down the line also Hollow Munikis. Plus there are some other really good Bakugan in the niche, such as Borg Mahesis or Kalukin, or even something much later like Made Last Boss. That said, with 4 metal pieces, this thing is still a very solid straight shot attacker, though there are other good ones in Darkest, such as Size Tavenal or Sanzu Halibos, which are far better, but this thing does have pretty good versatility in that sense. While it is somewhat power crept by Zero Munikis and Hollow Munikis, this isn't the same as Flare Dragon and Grand Dragon. Due to this thing having a 700G version and Zero Munikis not getting anywhere close to that, this thing also is a solid G power battler, on top of being a solid Bakugan, unlike Zero, so you could definitely make an argument that this is still better than Zero since that's not a massive physical improvement over this. While I still do prefer Zero, there is certainly a case for it. So while it's not spectacular, it is still a very, very solid Bakugan, although it being Darkest does make it a bit unfortunate because Darkest is by far the most competitive attribute, meaning that it does struggle to stand out a bit, despite being still a solid Bakugan, as I mentioned, being around mid-B tier by my estimate. But anyways, that's all for this episode. Next time will be Keela Leonis, so that's all to say. Anyways, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.